Welcome to SV 67D Principles of Management 1. My name is Felicia Friedite and Aqua. We're going to be looking at Unit 6, Organization. We're going to focus our discussion on the types of organization. By the end of the session, you should be able to differentiate between the formal and informal organizational structure, and then explain four main types of organization and distinguish between the line and staff organization. So when we're looking at formal organizational structure, we're looking at those organizational structures which are officially based on employees' official roles. These are usually documented in the organization, and so when you look at a formal organizational structure, we're looking at organizational structure which is based on employees' official roles. And so you see maybe the managing director, you see the financial manager, procurement manager, human resource manager. You see under them, you see maybe assistant audit clerk or something. You see all of those things in there. So these are formal organizational structures. Then the informal ones, they emanate as a result of employees with social interactions and social engagement in the business. And so these are as a result of personal or group needs of employees during their social interactions. People are social beings, human beings are social beings, and so wherever we find ourselves, we create friendships and those kind of networks or links between, and these informal ones are also part of the organization in there too. There are four main types of organizations. We have the line organization, we have the line and staff organization, we also have the functional, and we have the committee organizations. So what is the line organization? This is basically how the line organization looks like. So when it comes to the line organization, which sometimes is called the scalar organization or the military organization or the vertical organization, we see a clear line of reporting for the people in there. And so usually authority comes from top to down, and then when it comes to responsibilities move the other way instead. And so as authority is coming from top to down, we see responsibilities also moving up there as well. And when it comes to the line organization, one beautiful thing is that it actually shows a direct vertical relationship throughout the organization, and usually the highest authority is usually from the top and then it goes down. And you also see the scalar command. You see who issues which command, who is supposed to like do those or enact those commands, and who can also direct the next person. And so it's a clear vertical order in there. Depending on the type of organization, it may be longer than this, maybe shorter than this. In the same way, we can also draw from this side. You realize this is also going to this, or it could even be this person because this is also part of it. So these are different lines of line organizations in there as well. And the key things about the line organization is that first and foremost, it's good for communication, because from the top to the down, we know who is reporting to who is supposed to receive command from who. And so when it comes to communication, there's a clear cut of who should give the information to who. And also helps with coordination, because there's a bit of centralization in there, and it helps in accountability. At the end of the day, everybody is supposed to be accountable for what they did and they didn't do well as well. And so the line organization is one type of organizational structure. The next is the line and staff. So when it comes to the staff, think of them as experts or specialists in there. So you'd have the staff which usually give some sort of experts of expertise. They come with special expertise and they augment the how do you call it, the organizational structure. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So the line, like we spoke about, is also the scalar organization, and we see authority moving vertically throughout the organization, which shows who is reporting to who and the communication, all those things. So like I said, this is one line, this is another line in there, and you may even get a smaller line from here to here going down. but we have the staff. The staff is not part of the line, but they have some sort of expert skills and things that we need on board. So think of your company secretary. The company secretary is an expert in there who is just augmenting the work of management. He is not part of management, but at the end of the day, they are augmenting as well. Some companies or some businesses, you may have to have a business lawyer or a corporate lawyer just in case you get some litigation issues. They come in to help you address them. These are experts in there who are also supporting the business in which you are doing. So always think of your staff as experts or some people with special skills or talents you need to augment your service with. And when it comes to the staff, they may be in three main forms. You may have the personal staff, like some managers or some people would have their own personal assistants or personal advisors and all those ones. These are all personal staff. You may have specialist staff, like I was talking about, having a lawyer or having someone with some specialized skills. Like you can have a PR person just in charge of dealing with your public issues in the, depending on type of organization, the specialist you go in for. Yes, and then we also have the general staff, like I was talking about, the secretaries and all these not administrators, but then some places we have special secretaries in there who also help in there. And so when it comes to the line and staff, it also has its beauty it gives to organizations. Line organization is one of the simple organizational structures. You clearly see the chain of command, you clearly see the unity of command, you see the scalar of command and everything in there. But the beauty of the line and staff is that you're not only benefiting from the benefits of the line organization, you're also benefiting from the staff experience and expertise that they are bringing to the table as well. Then we also have the functional organization, which is based mostly, like the name sounds, like functions in the organization. And so there are so when it comes to functional organizations, like we have like I keep mentioning, this usually emanates from the functional levels of management, and depending on the type of business you are and the type of functional managers you'll be needing. And so for most organizations, you may have someone who is in charge. So there's a CFO who is in charge of financial operations. You may have your customer service officer. You may have your technical director, human resource, IT, depending on the type of business you're running or even the size and the type of people you are dealing with. And so usually when it comes to the functions, you have people who have specialized expertise, who head these departments or these units, and then the various people can go to them for guidance or counseling whenever they need anything. Just like in the University of Cape Coast, you realize you have the Directorate of Health, you have the academics part too as well. You also have you also have the Directorate of Human Resource, which is handling all the human resource issues. You have DAPCA, which is in charge of quality assurance in there. You have academic affairs, like I made mention of. And so you realize that if you have an issue relating to human resource, you go to the Directorate of Human Resource to address it for you, no matter the department or college you find yourself. If you have an issue with finance, you're going to go into the Directorate of Finance and see them to also handle with you, no matter the department you find yourself or where you find yourself. So whether you're in School of Business, you are in College of Education, you are in institutes, wherever you find yourself, when you have academic issues, you go to the Directorate of Academic Affairs. So this is how the functional organizations look like, or they are. And so that's another type of organizational structure. And as your business or your organization grows up, you realize that you may have more functions in there to deal with more particular issues in there as well. Then we have what we call the committee organization, which is also another form of organization. And typically in our businesses or in our firms or organizations, whenever there's a problem or something, we form special people to look into it. We have committees which are set in place to solve a certain problem or task. Committees are always tasked with something to do. So we're saying that a committee is a group of persons who are composed to perform a certain task which is assigned to them. Obviously, you can't set up a committee without giving them a task. There is a reason why they are being put together to solve that thing. And they are used for the purpose of discharging advisory functions to management. You realize if there's any problem, even in Ghana, Parliament would do a committee to find out and then come and advise. The same way, even on campus, if there's any problem, or let's say there's a disciplinary issue to be done, there'll be a disciplinary committee to go and think about it, look at everything that happened in there, and then come and advise management on it. And usually they are formed in respect to finance, personnel, production, industry relations, etc. So that is the beauty about organization when we're looking at committee as well. Now, another type is the matrix organizational structure, which usually is very complex. And this is one type of organizational structure as well, which you have to keep in mind, because you can't do organization without looking at matrix organization structure in this. So it's one form of organization structure, and like you see, you're seeing a blend in there. So for this kind of organizational structure, you usually have teams reporting to multiple leaders. That is how it works. And so you may be reporting to leader A, reporting to this person too as well. It's a very complex, should I say, organizational structure. And usually when your business grows and gets to a certain stage, a certain level, you tend to have a blend of these. And so you're seeing there's a project team, a paying project team, and you have members of them from various parts in there who come together to work on projects X and Y in there as well. So that's how the matrix organization structure is. You can refer to your book to look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of the various types in there as well as you go on. So do well to read your textbook for the various advantages, disadvantages, merits, and key things that goes in there. So in this session, we've discussed the various types of organization structure. We've looked at the line, and staff, we've looked at the functional organization, we've looked at the committee as well, and I hinted you a little bit on the matrix organization structure as well. Thank you, and see you in the next session.